Many years ago, we adopted this beautiful baby girl, and just a few years ago, we got the news.
Yeah, my name's Emery Van Broekhuizen. I am 35 years old, and I'm currently a freelance videographer here in Denver, Colorado, as well as in the Army Reserves as a signal officer.
Do I have to tell you how old I
I guess not.
am? I'm Chris Cogswell. I'm 53 and I'm a piano teacher for people with special needs.
I'm Jamie Cogswell. I'm 24 and I'm currently a recording arts student at CU Denver.
Well, my name is Nate Jorgensen. I identify as gender fluid, or sometimes I identify as a trans male, female to male, for those who don't know what that is.
The first time that we met our beautiful daughter was when she was a baby. She was only 4 months old.
4 months.
4 months, and she was just a roly-poly, beautiful baby.
Man, I guess the first time I realized that there was something different about me was when I was really little. I didn't know how to explain it, but probably around 5 years old is the first time I think somebody probably said, like, oh, those are boy toys, or that's a boy cartoon, like superhero cartoons and stuff. And I remember my mom saying, you're not supposed to play with those things or watch those cartoons, etc., etc.
I have always felt like I was male, but I find it to be hard to think that I was born differently, I guess.
So the first time that we found out that Nate was no longer our beautiful girl, but now a transgender male, was in November, right before Thanksgiving. And he told us that this was something that was very important to him. And I remember thinking that it was really hard to wrap my mind around something that was so different.
I guess part of it is you have a vision for the person that your child is going to be, and who they are will affect their life, and you have dreams for your child.
For me, the name change solidified, even for me to call myself Emery was a big deal, just to identify as male. The name also, choosing my name was really important. It was my great-grandfather's name, and so being able to choose my own name and the kind of man that I was going to be from this point forward, that was really important, and it's something that just is a reminder every day of who I am.
I felt like I could talk to my family, I just wasn't mentally ready or prepared for my family to know about who I am.
And we always thought that we just wanted her to be happy. We weren't overly concerned with it. A little different for us. But the main goal was just to have whatever made her happy. And if this is the transgender aspect of it.
I was kind of worried how they would react. I knew that I would be okay because my parents are very accepting and loving people.
Well, we went through a lot of, previously we went through the, the portion. I suck. Sorry, Patrick.
The hardest thing for me was probably knowing who I was attracted to at first, and I know that orientation's different than gender identity.
I started out as a lesbian female, then I went to a bi female, then I went to a pangender.
First I came out as bisexual, and then I came out as non-binary and agender. And they were accepting in the beginning.
The hardest thing for me was probably knowing who I was attracted to at first, and I know that orientation is different than gender identity. However, I was always attracted to women, and being from a conservative Christian background, that just wasn't even an option. So I wasn't really confused about it. I just thought that people liked the opposite sex and someday it would make sense to me or whatever.
The biggest thing was the pronouns, was adjusting to using they, them, rather than he, him.
And that's still a struggle.
Yeah.
It's not, it doesn't feel right in the mouth yet, you know, to say they, them, there. My brain just doesn't process it as quick as I would like it to.
Yeah.
But it's a process.
If, say, someone was given the name Natasha at birth, but they don't feel female or don't feel that that's them, per se. I guess it's important for other people to stick with that and respect that because they changed their name for a reason.
In some ways, because we are a little more tolerant than some families, and we've been going to a church for a long time that's very liberal, it was easier for Nate to be enveloped in the culture of our church. We were able to discuss the new reality for us with people that are close to us.
The most support that I got was from, I think there's 3 different places. Number 1 was my church community that I'm currently in. I go to House for All Sinners and Saints, which is a evangelical Lutheran church here in Denver. The people there were super supportive. It's actually where I met the first transgender Christian that I'm friends with now. And so that was a big part of just me coming out and being able to ask somebody who'd gone through it.
Full acceptance from everyone, which in a way I got, because I have it better off than most LGBT people in the LGBT community.
The second place is the military, and the reason is in the Army we have, like battle buddies. You always have somebody that's gonna have your back. And what I found coming out, both as lesbian before and then as transgender man, was that it didn't change my status as a soldier.
I've received a lot of support from most people in my life.
And then the third place was actually my family members, because I think that it's probably the hardest for them, knowing me for 33 years with a different name, different gender, and having their own perception of who I was without me being able to explain what was going on inside. So just the fact that they were trying so hard.
I think it's really important to support Nate as he transitions into this new world, and I hope that we can remember to use the correct gender terms.
So throughout this process, it was a lot about trying to find out who Nate was, trying to find out, other people who are going through something like this. Getting this insight was also kind of cathartic for me as well, while also getting the chance to, interview all these really interesting, people from various different backgrounds with various different experiences within this, this topic. If you start treating people like people, everything's great. Everything moves smoothly. He's been my brother for, 20-some years. And, he's got a lot of more boy traits than me sometimes, I hate fart jokes and things like that, but that kid loves them. What could I say?